our earlier programme on the use of emergency equipment, we looked at Mark II locomotive haul stock, Mark III sleeping cars and the HST fleet. Now we're going to look at the same procedures and equipment on our brand new high-speed train, the Adelante.
Once again, we'll begin with communication. In each vestibule, there's a train manager's control panel. To open this panel, you'll need your carriage key. At the bottom of the panel, there are two buttons. The left-hand one is marked driver and the right PA. If you need to make a passenger announcement or to call the train manager in emergency, press the PA button and lift the handset. Wait for a few moments for the PA button to light up before you start to speak. Use of the PA button will override any automatic announcements being made by the passenger information system. Now, press the little button in the middle of the handset and speak. This is the staff announcement. Can the train manager please come to coach C? There's also a PA panel and handset in the Refresca Cafe bar in coach B.
Each seat throughout the new train will be provided with the familiar safety cards. Passengers should be reminded of these cards and the importance of reading them. This will normally be done automatically by means of the passenger information system.
If you need to stop the train in emergency, there are red alarm or PASCOM handles in each vestibule area. They don't work like the ones on the HSTs. If I pull the handle, while the train is moving, it'll start to apply the brakes. But the driver can override the brake application if the train is going to stop in an unsafe or unsuitable location, like in a tunnel or on a viaduct. In any event, the driver will acknowledge the alarm and the driver-aware LED below the handle will light, letting me know that the driver is aware of the emergency. As soon as it's convenient and safe, the driver will press the talkback button in the cab and speak.
This is the driver speaking. Please state the nature of the emergency. Speak clearly into the microphone next to the red alarm handle. Please speak now.
I can now speak to the driver and tell him or her what's wrong. The driver knows which door I'm at. It's on the train management display in the cab.
Each of the new train's toilets is also equipped with a PASCOM. But unlike the ones in the vestibule, these don't apply the train brakes. If the emergency requires the evacuation of one coach, move passengers quickly to another coach. The sliding glass door normally works on the button. If it doesn't, slide it back manually, making sure it's closed behind the last person to leave. If the glass sliding door won't open at all, there's an emergency hammer in the recess to the left. Break the cover, pull out the hammer, then aim in the pointed steel tip at the glass, break the glass in any corner. You've seen this done before, so I won't damage one of our new trains unnecessarily.
If you can't get through to another coach, then you'll have to evacuate the passengers by one of the external doors. These doors are power-operated sliding plug doors. Next to each door, there is a green handle called the emergency egress device. If I pull this handle, while the train is moving, it'll apply the brakes. Of course, like the PASCOM, the driver can override this brake application to prevent the train from stopping in an unsafe or unsuitable location. Once the speed drops to below 3 miles per hour, the door will unlock. Wait until the train stops completely, then pull the green handle fully down. This will open the door slightly so you can slide it back. don't let any of the passengers jump down first, but check outside for hazards, then if it's safe, jump down yourself. Once you're down, you can help the others. Keep them together and move to a position of safety as soon as possible.
If emergency evacuation is necessary from either of the two driving vehicles, there's an emergency door leading to the luggage compartment. Once inside the luggage compartment, the big sliding crew access door can be opened. Wait until the train stops, then check for external hazards before jumping down on the cess side if possible. If there's no other way out, you'll have to break a coach window. Unlike our older trains, the Adelante coaches have two designated breakable windows in each coach, one on each side in the centre. Right next to each breakable window is the green window hammer in its familiar recess. You can break one of these windows in exactly the same way as we've shown you in our earlier programmes, that is by striking the glass in any corner.
Opposite the catering galley in first class coach D, there's a wheelchair bay and the first of 5 call for aid buttons provided on the Adelante. The call for aid button works in the same way as the PASCOM, but it doesn't apply the brake. It is designed and positioned to be available to disabled passengers.
In standard coach E, there's a special toilet for the disabled. Inside there are 2 call for aid units, one above the sink, the other close to floor level, alongside the WC. Pressing either of these will be acknowledged by the driver, causing the driver aware LED to light on the PASCOM. The driver's voice will come from a speaker inside the PASCOM unit. You can reply from any position in the toilet, as the small mics built into the call for aid units are very sensitive. Just inside the saloon, there are 2 wheelchair bays, one on each side. And each of these has a wall-mounted call for aid button. As we've seen, pressing the call for aid button puts the passenger in touch with the driver. The driver will know exactly where the passenger is because the operation of the call for aid will show on the train management system display in the cab. Once the driver has responded to the passenger, assistance can be summoned by calling either the train manager or customer service host on the PA.
As we discussed in our earlier programme, covering the HSTs and the Mark III sleepers, any fire on a train, however small, must be taken very seriously and must be dealt with immediately. Coaches A, D and E have 6-litre AFFF water foam type fire extinguishers located between the seat backs in the middle of the saloon, right by the emergency windows and hammers.
Coach C has an AFFF extinguisher in the vestibule at the opposite end to the toilet, while Coach B has one in the Refresca cafe bar. These water-based extinguishers must not be used for electrical fires until all engines throughout the train have been shut down. In both the Refresca galley area and the small galley in first class coach D, you can also find a CO2 type fire extinguisher and a fire blanket.
There are 2 first aid boxes. One is located in the Refresca galley area, while the other is in coach E in the emergency equipment cupboard next to the toilet for the disabled. This cupboard also contains an extendable escape ladder and a crowbar. Just around the corner, there is another cupboard housing a wheelchair ramp.
The only way in and out of the driving cab is normally by the central door leading to the luggage compartment. However, there's an emergency egress in the form of a hatch in the cab side wall. In the centre of the hatch, there's a handle, locked by a security pin. If I pull the pin and operate the handle, the four-corner spring-loaded bolts are released, enabling the hatch assembly to drop away. Below the hatch, there's a small compartment containing an emergency rope ladder. Before attempting to climb down, check for external hazards, overhead line equipment, electrified third rail, and trains moving on adjacent tracks.
The luggage compartment door can be opened from ground level by pulling out the green emergency access handle. The same type of emergency access handle is also provided for one door at each end of each coach, diagonally opposite, like on the HSTs. The handle only opens the adjacent door.
There's an automatic fire detection system which, in the unlikely event of an engine fire, shuts down the engine on this vehicle and activates the fire bottle. A manual system is also available as a backup. Pulling this fire handle activates manual discharge of the fire bottle. Every vehicle of the 5-car Adelante has its own turbo diesel engine. You can shut down any individual engine by operating this engine stop button here. But if you need to shut down all engines, and you can't do that from the driving cab, you'll have to shut them down one by one. Don't forget that the train's electrical circuits are cross-fed, so the system won't be dead until all engines throughout the train have been shut down. So, we've had a look at the location and operation of the emergency equipment on board the Adelante, and should be confident that we know what to do in the unlikely event of an emergency. As we've seen, the Adelante is a 5-car unit, but it will often operate as 2 units in multiple. That's to say, 2 units coupled together. Now, because the cab ends aren't gangwayed, you can't walk through. So each part of the 10-car train will be staffed by its own train manager and customer service hosts. You will, however, be able to communicate to all parts of the train using the PA. But of course, whatever you say will be heard by all the passengers on the train.
Thank you for watching this short programme. If there's anything you don't understand, or there are safety issues you wish to raise, please discuss these with your trainer or local manager. And don't forget, in an emergency, our customers will expect us to act with speed and confidence.